I'm going to share 8 lessons that sum up everything I've learned these past 10 years. These 8 lessons are a summary of what allowed me to go from broke to over 500k per month. And if you follow them, you won't have to repeat the same mistake I made. You won't have to spend tens of thousands of dollars on coaching like I did. With just one video, I'm literally going to save you 10 years. The first lesson is that it's 100% possible. No matter what your goal is, no matter where you're starting from, no matter what your current situation is. When I began, I heard the same phrase that everyone repeats everywhere. Entrepreneurship is too risky. You need to go to a top business school. You need a corporate experience first. You need a big starting capital. 99% of business fail in the first year. And maybe also it's better to find a stable job with a permanent contract. People think you need experience, connection, and I honestly had none of that. No higher education, no starting capital, no network, nothing. And yet today, I make over 500k a month. And if I can do it, you can do it too. I'm not smarter than you. I simply gave myself the means to get there. And today the world is changing very fast. More and more opportunities are appearing. And if you give yourself the means, you can take your place just like I did. The second lesson is to take extreme ownership of your life. Extreme ownership is telling yourself that whatever happens in your life, you are responsible for how you react to it. And honestly, I even think that we are responsible for everything that happened to us. But more importantly, we are responsible for our reaction. We are the only one responsible for our emotions. For example, I have a lot of haters. But it's not because some guy is going to insult me that I'm going to feel bad. And if I feel bad, it's not because of the hater. It's my responsibility. It only depends on me to feel good. I tell myself that whatever happens, I'm the master of my kingdom. I'm the master of my emotion. And so having an extreme ownership of things means never putting yourself in victim mode. Whatever happens in your life, that's how you take back power over things. So you need to stop complaining. You need to stop making excuses for yourself. And so if things aren't going the way you want in your life, stop telling yourself, oh, it's because of the government, it's my boss' fault, it's because the world is going badly. All of that is bullshit and you know it. The only person responsible for it is you. And it's a bit hard to accept it at first, but listen closely. Taking back full responsibility means taking back full power. And I'm pretty sure that you want to have power in your life. The third lesson is to test and don't be afraid to fail. I always keep in mind that failures is not serious. So don't be afraid of rejection. Don't be afraid of being told no. When I started, I was afraid of everything. I was afraid to call clients and have them decline my offer. I was afraid of making a fool of myself. But the truth is, all of that is just ego. And in entrepreneurship, ego is your worst enemy. You may be afraid of what others will think, but hear me out. If you don't put yourself in situations where you might be bad, you don't put yourself in situations where you could be good. And the good news is people don't give a shit about you. Yeah, I'm serious. Everyone is too busy thinking about their own problem. And so it might feel weird at first, but once you truly understand it, it's super liberating. And so can you tell me about the last time someone looked stupid in front of you? I bet you can, because we don't remember those things about other people because we don't care. We forget them 5 minutes after they happen. And so as soon as you get this in your head, you are no longer afraid to call clients. You are no longer afraid of rejection, and that's make you unstoppable. So be optimist. Whatever happens, and tell yourself that everything will go well for you. Have the confidence in yourself and in life. And it's when we have that mentality that life gives us good things back. So get started, test your ideas quickly, and don't spend months perfecting something in your corner. Get off there for real and confront your ideas with the market. And I think that it's the only way to know if it's really going to work or not. The fourth lesson is to surround yourself with the right people. I think that alone you can go fast for sure, but if you want to go far, you have to go together. Surrounding yourself with the right people isn't just finding the best employees. If you want to go further and further, you need to look for mentors. And so for a long time, I stayed blocked by my ego. I told myself, I'm smart enough to make it on my own. I don't need help. I don't need someone to teach me. And that mindset made me lose years. Yet it's simple. If you want to succeed at doing something, find someone who has already succeeded at doing it and ask them to teach you. And so at first, you don't necessarily have money to invest, but you don't have to start directly with the best. You can look for someone with just a little more advanced than you, and gradually you will get closer to the best. Today, when I want to learn something new, I ask myself, who is the best in the world? And the best in the world often isn't accessible at all. And so sometimes with my brother, it takes us months just to manage to get in contact with them. Sometimes we can't even convince them to work with us, but by persisting, most of the time we succeed. I have coaches I've been working with for 4 years, and maybe I will never stop in my life until the day. And you know, it's the story of the master and his apprentice. Every master wants his apprentice to eventually surpass him, but often the apprentice at some point tell themselves, okay, I'm tired of this master, I know enough things, I don't need him anymore. And so I quit. And that's where progress stops. All of that is just an exit of ego. And I think that's the ego of wanting to learn things alone. And so here is exactly what you need to do. You need to find somebody who already does what you want to do. Offer them money to teach you how to do it. And once you found them, you need to hold tight, follow their advice to the letter, and don't listen to your ego telling you, I know better than them. And be careful, because no advice is better than bad advice. So it's important to find the right people, because good advice from the right people can save you years. The fifth lesson is don't neglect your health. Health is non-negotiable. Healthy people want to get a million things, and unhealthy people only want one thing. They want good health. And so if you lose your health, you won't be able to do something anymore. Taking care of your body is the best long-term investment. And I remember the moment that my brother and I generated 100K a month, we were working like crazy, just the two of us without a team. And I was only 24 years old at the time, and I came dangerously close to burning out. I even get a life coach to get back on track. And my brother didn't even have time to go through the hairdressers anymore. We really thought that we were war machine, but the reality was that we were destroying ourselves. It's over the years that I learned to take care of my health. And today I have a coach who calls me every day to do a 10 minutes exercise. I know it's super important. I eat well, I eat meat, fish, and vegetable. I avoid eating like bread, pasta, and rice. I avoid processed food. I almost never take sugar or alcohol, and I don't do drugs. And after that, it's up to everyone to find their balance. Not everyone has the same need, but at least you need to pay attention to your diet and do a little exercise. You need to take at least 1 day a week where you can rest. With just 1 day of rest per week, you can definitely avoid burnout. The sixth lesson is don't try to reinvent the wheel. People often make this mistake, but it's useless. You just need to follow someone who has succeeded in doing everything you want to do, and then stick to them until you surpass them. And a few years ago, I put all of my savings into buying an online program for $1,500. And this program was someone's accelerator, adding something that went against my goal. I really admit that I didn't know everything, and that this guy had understood a lot of things that I hadn't understood yet. And so I told myself that if he explained all of that to me and did the same, I was bound to succeed. And so in the end, it was the best investment of my life. It's thanks to this program that I went from 0 to 100K per month. And there are many people who could have followed the same path, but instead they tell themselves, I'm going to invent my own method. That's not the best solution at all. And so you need to find someone who has already done what you want to do, and you need to copy their methods. And once you master it, that you can innovate, but honestly not before. The seventh lesson is to simplify rather than complicate. Generally, people scatter themselves over a lot of things. We often overestimate what we are capable of doing. And so the goal isn't to do more, it's to do less. And the goal isn't to do complicated things, it's to simplify everything as much as possible. And succeeding in simplifying things is very, very hard. Einstein would describe intelligence in 5 levels. So the first level is smart, the second level is intelligent, the third one is brilliant, the fourth is genius, and the fifth level, above all, is simple, and everyone can do things in a complex way. And it's much more complicated to simplify things. It might seem counterintuitive, but it's also true. And Einstein also said, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. And so with my brother, at the beginning, we tried to do 1,000 things at once. We were trying to learn a lot of things in all areas, but as a result, we were scattering ourselves. And one day we decided to focus on one simple thing and do it perfectly. We decided to work on our funnel. We focused on optimizing and simplifying our funnel step by step. And that's when our revenue exploded. So stop staggering yourself trying to be the best everywhere, one thing per thing, and try to do it better than everybody else. And only once you master it perfectly, then you can add a new thing. The 8th lesson is don't forget your why. Why are you doing this? What really motivates you? It's not just money. Money is a mean, not an end. And so my why is to have an impact, is to help people. It's to show that it's possible, that no matter where you come from, you can succeed. Of course, there will be difficult moments where you will want to give up. And that's when your why will carry you. If your why is strong enough, you will weather all storm. If your why is weak, you will give up at the first obstacle. You need to take the time to define your why. You need to write down somewhere and reread it when things go badly. Because your why is like a compass. It will always guide you in a moment of doubt. And so if you follow this 8th lesson, I guarantee you will save years. If you want to learn how my brother and I went from literally 0 to 500K a month, you can watch this video.